The story of Keesh. Hello, Assalamu alaikum students. Assalamu alaikum. I hope that you all are fine. Well, in today's recorded lesson, we are going to start with our chapter number 7, that is the story of Keesh. The story of Keesh. Before starting with the chapter explanation, I would like to give you a quick intro about the chapter, the story of Keesh. Now let's begin our video. The main theme, or you can say the main story, the story of Keesh, was written in London Story and was published in 1907. This story is about a man who exercised handcraft and not witchcraft and rose from the meanest igloo to be the headman of this village. Before starting with the summary, you must have to firstly know who is the writer of the story. Now, if we talk about the author of the story, is Jack London. Basically, John Griffith, 1876 till 1916. He was an American poet, journalist, and social activist who was born and brought up and around San Francisco. He is the author of much fiction, including 2 very widely read and exciting books called White Fang and Cell of the Wild. London wrote over 20 novels and dozens of short stories, which he had published in magazines. The story of Keesh, which has been adapted here, was written in 1902. London has written this story as if it is being spoken or passed down from one generation to the next in the oral tradition of folk tales. This story is the true narrative of a fictitious story. I hope that you all get the clear idea that what this story, the story of Keesh, is about. Now, let's begin with the detailed summary of this chapter. The story of Keesh is a short story which was written by Jack London that was first published in January of 1904. Keesh was the son of a great huntsman who was well known and respected in his tribe. Unfortunately, Keesh's father died when Keesh was very young. As is often the case, the legendary exploit of Keesh's father was forgotten with time. After many years, the children grows to be 13, inspired by tales of his father's skills as a huntsman, and emboldened by his self-confidence and lackluster amount of food being gathered by the tribe. He addressed the village elder in the igloo of the tribe chief. A child addressing the tribal elder was seen as precocious. Keesh declared that he would honor his father's memory and become a great hunter and bring back a wealth of meat for his people. He was conned, and they allow him to go off on his own. Many never expected to hear from him again. 4 days later, Keesh returned with an enormous burden of freshly killed meat over his shoulder. He explained that an entire polar bear carcass lay a day travel from the village. The villagers were stunned by this boy having endured the element and succeed in his quest, become suspicious. After several more hunting exertions on Keesh's part, all alone and all resulting in an enormous amount of meat for the tribe, the villagers began whispering that Keesh is undoubtedly practicing witchcraft. However, they had no choice but to be loyal to the man-child, as he had begun to provide them all with bounteous food. Keesh had the appreciative villagers construct for him an enormous igloo. After more speculation and innuendo as to the source of Keesh's hunting powers, it was decided to send 2 scouts to follow him on a hunting exhibition. They returned several days later, having been successful in trailing Keesh to his kill. An enormous and dangerous polar bear. They told the tale that the tribal council simply couldn't believe. Upon his return, the tribe gathered in Keesh's igloo to accuse him of witchcraft. He answered their charges well. Keesh explained the source of his hunting success. He explained why the 2 Scots sent to follow him observed him striding upon to the bear, enraging it and convincing it to follow him. He explained why the Scot witnesses leaving a small round balls of food on the ice cream for the bear, and when the bear soon becoming ill and enraged, he explained how he was then able to spare the bear without enraging himself. I hope that this summary of chapter The Story of Keesh will help you to memorize, or you can say and build an imaginary in your mind that what this story is about and how Keesh is accused by his own villagers of doing witchcraft, and when he shared the source of his hunting success to his villager, he rose from the meanest igloo to be the headman of the village. And though all the years that he lived, it is related, his tribe was prosperous, and neither widow nor weak one cried aloud in the night because there was no meat. I hope this video will help you to better understand the chapter, The Story of Keesh. We are going to do the words to know and the comprehension, that is exercise A, in our next recorded lesson. In this recorded lesson, we done with a brief summary of the chapter The Story of Keesh, and we also learn about the writer of the story. Now I'm going to end this recorded lesson and hope that you all will stay home and stay safe. Till then, Allah Hafiz. Take care of yourself.